everyone, thanks for joining us in today's video. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to click that subscribe button. Guys, our shop is officially going up next week. We will have t-shirts, coffee mugs, bumper stickers, and much more. So be on the lookout for that. I'll have more information once it does go up. In today's video, we'll be discussing about Milton William Cooper, or best known to some as Bill Cooper, a true American patriot and a true hero. I hope you guys enjoy the video.
My message is to you is don't support anybody unless they're doing what we know to be right.
Milton William Cooper, also known as Bill Cooper, was born May 6, 1943, and was a radio broadcaster and author of the book Behold a Pale Horse. Best known for his book, Bill started an uproar in the 1990s for conspiracy theories and gathered a broad audience of viewers. From 1993 to 2001, Bill would host a radio show by the name of Hour of the Time. Bill had many claims, everything from HIV being a man-made disease all the way to the Illuminati. Bill was also in the United States Air Force and Navy. What many don't know is that Bill grew up as a Freemason, and his father was one, and he was more or less following in what he thought was right at the time. When he was in the Army, he would check the Freemason box and would be given more security clearance than others. This society is more or less a brotherhood, and they're very good at keeping secrets. So for them to look for other Freemasons in the military does not come to a surprise to many. With above average of security clearance in the military, Bill began to find out more information that would be unsettling to the average American. That wasn't aboard to the train to usher in a new world order. Bill participated in his early years with his father in Freemason lodges. However, only the higher pyramid truly knows the evil plans of the elite. Bill was highly focused in the Kennedy assassination and our corrupt government. It seems they might have let one man know just a little too much. However, it wasn't really what Bill knew at the time before his popularity that would trouble them. It was what Bill would know later to expose them in the later years that would lead to Bill's death. Bill, in my eyes, will always be a true American patriot. An American patriot that would see his government do wrong and turn away from them to expose the very evil that they do. Many would keep their mouths shut, take their orders, and do not ask questions. Bill was not that guy. If Bill knew the American people was in danger, he would risk his own life to inform them and die trying, if that's what it took. Bill later joined up as a militia and was involved in anti-government during the 90s. During the 90s, Bill would run into one of the biggest con artists of today, Alex Jones. Alex Jones blends truth with lies. He is very volatile and was a part of the fake news during the 1990s. He will do whatever it takes for publicity, and by any means he will fake or take action to bring him a part of that success. Alex Jones only wishes he could have been as loyal as Bill Cooper and reached the American people without putting them in fear of fake Russian attacks like Jones did in the 1990s. Viewers were curious why Alex didn't have Bill on the show. Once confronted, Jones spilled a bunch of lies about Bill that was not true, stating Bill was acting very hostile and cursing, none of which was true. By the late 1990s, Bill Cooper was known to almost everyone as the head of the conspiracy movement. Bill did state in interviews that he did feel there were people out to get him, and how could you blame him? Bill was exposing them unlike anyone else has in the past. This would be the first time that someone came forward and attacked their entire agenda rather than bits and pieces. They wanted Bill out of the picture. In 1998, Bill was charged with tax evasion, which would only add more fuel to the fire. He eluded them for fear of his life, and in 2000, Bill would make the top fugitive list. This raises more suspicion for something that could be known as a small tax fraud, if he even owed any in the first place. This was a man that loved his country and fought for it, a man that was not a criminal. Bill only wanted the American people to be told the truth, and Bill wanted the swamp drained of all these evil Zionists running the country. Bill made many predictions on his broadcast, but his final prediction shocked the entire world. Months before 9/11, Bill had stated on his show that something big was in the works. Something big that was fixing to happen at any time. A new Pearl Harbor. And Osama bin Laden would be blamed for the attack. A few months later, on September 11, 2001, that prediction would come true. Less than 2 months later, Bill would be gunned down on his front doorstep of his home in Eager, Arizona. The police would disguise themselves as a bunch of teenagers blaring their speakers at the end of the road to taunt Bill out of his home. As the story goes, Bill did come down, armed as he always was, where the rowdy so-called teenagers would try to cut him off from going back to his residence.
It was unmarked. No one was in uniforms. They did not identify themselves. That was it. They had said that in their briefings the very next day. They were parked here. They intentionally had a vehicle with an incredibly loud stereo system, and they made a lot of noise themselves, hooting and hollering. Bill came down and told them, this is based on the law enforcement people that told me this, that were involved that night, Bill told them if they didn't leave, he was calling the police, and they shunned him on. So he then turned around to go back to his home up there and call the police. Now, at that point, they were here, and he just basically turned right there, just out on this lot a little bit, and went on back. Right here out of this juniper was a spot I was told by law enforcement officials that the first deputy came out right at Bill's truck, because he was cruising along slow, watching them more than likely in his rearview mirror, me knowing him very well, to make sure they didn't follow him back over there. He came out, and this is the point where Bill knocked him off sheerly with his arm, not ran over anything. That guy basically just landed on his butt because Bill hit the gas. So he made this little curve here, and this is where he stopped. At this point, according to law enforcement officials, from their briefing, and then plus people on site right then, when he stopped, one more person approached the vehicle, but not running. And that's when he did the open hands thing and a sign of, like surrender or whatever. Here's where he hit up on the bank, just trying to avoid the vehicle that then came shooting up here, full bore, full speed, came ripping up the hill. So obviously the people at the end had communications with people down there on the road. Must have verified that Bill had turned around coming back to his house. So they came zooming up here in a vehicle. He's avoiding them. He comes up on this bank. It was testified as that by the law enforcement reports, as well as the evidence on his vehicle that is what happened. The exhaust system was tore off the bottom. He then proceeded right there past the small elms and the driveway by the law enforcement officials that were on site, and ones that had to come up afterwards and get a briefing so they knew what went on roughly, because public was obviously going to be coming to try to come up here, and news crews and all whatnot. They had put out that Bill is not to be let back in that house alive. It was premeditated. It was put out, Bill will not be allowed back in alive.
Bill was the ultimate threat to the Illuminati's very plan. Not only did he predict their attacks before it would happen, they was very much afraid that too many people were starting to listen to him. They had not only just orchestrated the biggest attack on America's soil since Pearl Harbor, but they would also leave too many breadcrumbs for the American people to see that the official story was bullshit. And they was afraid Bill influencing too many of the American people, had he influenced already enough. They needed him out of the picture, and so it would be on November 5th, 2001, just months after his prediction came true.